Hi, my name's Adam Kilborn. I'm with Black Raven Films, and today we're going to be doing a quick review of the Tascam DR 680. This wonderful field recorder is been with me for the last 6 or 9 months here, and it's been a nice little unit. I bought it originally because it had lots of different inputs, and we're going to start shooting more and more setups that required more than just 1, 2, or 3 channels. I wanted something that would have at least 4 channels, and lucky enough, this one actually has 4 dedicated XLR inputs. It has 2 quarter inputs, so it's in normal setup. It has 6 different channels that it can record in. There is a way that you can actually additionally set it up for 2 digital inputs on the other side to have a total of 8 different recording setups. But for most people's intents and purposes, this is a 6-channel recorder, and it does the job very nicely. Probably the biggest reason why I bought this versus some of the other ones, like the sound devices or some of those others, just has to come down to cost. This guy right here cost right around $600. You can probably find a little bit cheaper here and there, but for $600, you get a nice little portable field recorder. First of all, I talked about the different inputs. Obviously, you're going to have phantom power on these 4 inputs right there. You have the ability to switch from a mic input to a line input for each one of those channels. Additionally, you have the ability to get in there and change the record trim for these things, which is probably one of the nicest things about this recorder, is that each individual channel, you can dive in there and adjust the recording levels, the mix levels with each one of the individual channels. So that's a pretty nice little deal there. If you wanted to adjust a single level, you'd simply push one of those tracks, and then you would be in there adjusting that record level. So it's not really a big issue unless you're in the middle of a live recording and you've got to be constantly adjusting, 4 or 5 or so different levels. Then it can be somewhat hairy. But if you're just setting levels and kind of just adjusting them from time to time, works perfectly fine. It's not an issue at all. Power with this comes 2 ways. One is you can plug it directly into the wall. That's great if you've got power sources near you. But if you don't, then you've got to find portable power. And in the back of the unit opens up, and you have 8 AA batteries that you can insert into it, and you've got portable power. The problem with that is this thing burns through AA batteries like crazy. If you look on the boards and you start looking into what other sound guys will use for portable power, one of the more popular ones are NP1 style batteries. Those are great and be wonderful to have. Unfortunately, to get into that as a portable power source, you're looking at the cheapest right around $400. 2 batteries, a charger, and a cup to actually power the unit. It's right around $400, which is almost as much as the unit itself. So that's not really an option for me for this guy. Luckily, I was able to find a cheaper alternative, NP970 Sony batteries, and this one unit right here will run the Tascam unit for about 10 hours. This will all run you just under $200, so about half the price of the MP1 batteries. If you lose power, while you're in the middle of a record, you're going to lose that record session. So make sure the batteries are charged, and if you're at all worried about, hey, is this battery dead, make sure you're swapping them out throughout the day. But this little guy here will power that unit pretty much all day by itself, and it's really economical for that. The other nice thing is that these NP970 batteries you can use for lights or for monitors. There's a bunch of different uses for these guys out in the marketplace. This isn't very user-friendly just by itself. You're going to need a bag for this, and I picked up one of these Petrol Deca bags, and it's designed to either be worn as a strap like this or to a harness. There's lots of different little hooks that you can wear it simply like this. This little guy right here is going to fit in nicely in that little package there, and I'm off and running. The one challenge with the DR680 that it makes this setup somewhat challenging is that all these buttons here are on the top of the unit. So when I drop it in to my bag, I've got all the buttons I can touch and I can adjust things, except for those other buttons. They're on the top of the bag, and I got to reach in, look, and actually see what's in there. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of light in that bag, so that also makes it requires you to get a flashlight. So buy yourself a little portable flashlight, drop it in there, and that'll be a nice way to illuminate all those buttons that are in there. So with this setup right here, I can put up 4 different wireless lav mics. I can also be booming at the same time, and it'll all run right off of this unit. It's quite nice. It's not the greatest portable recorder that's out there, but for the price and what it can do, it's pretty darn good. I've been happy with it. I've had it, like I said, for about 6 to 9 months. I've used it quite a bit and haven't had any issues with it. And I've also given it to several other of my friends who are sound people that have played with it, and they enjoy it. It's again, it's not the highest end, but if you're looking for value, this is a great value. One last thing is on preamps. The preamps in this, people always talk, well, how's it going to sound? How are the preamps in this unit versus some of the higher end devices? And we took it down to a friend's sound studio, and the preamps in it sound almost identical to some of the higher end sound devices. You can definitely tell the higher end how a little bit of a difference there. They have a little bit nicer sound to it, but it's not one that you wouldn't notice. You wouldn't notice that unless you're really in there listening really, really hard for it. For most people's purposes, what they're going to be recording this on, you're gonna love the preamps in this. With that, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.